Hello guys, welcome back to Tessie Anointed Gabriel YouTube channel. My name is Mary and I am your host for today. Please, this is your first time of listening to this. Please click on the red subscribe button down below, and also don't forget to click on the notification bell so whenever we upload new videos, you will be notified. On the news today, restructuring, ex-president Obasanjo warns of violent uprising. Olusegun Obasanjo, Nigerian ex-leader, is worried that the country may fall into a deep crisis over debates on its unity. The former military general and one-time head of state urged incumbent President Mohamed Buhari to stop to the unhealthy debates. Obasanjo noted that if Boko Haram has remained undefeated in 10 years, a war of self-determination between different ethnic groups would last longer. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo has expressed concern over the current debate about restructuring the nation. This day reports that the ex-Nigerian leader is worried that if restructuring debates generates any further, it could lead to violence as groups move for self-governance. Obasanjo made the statement at the inaugural anniversary lecture of the late founder of the Oodua People's Congress, Frederick Faison. The former military general warned the President Muhammadu Buhari administration to quickly manage the situation before it gets worse. There is still a window of opportunity for us to help nip in the bud a possible and indeed likely agitation for self-determination that will be violent, destructive, and all-empowering. We have descended to lack of civility bordering on civilization, indignity, mutual disrespect, and crudity in the language of our debates, dialogue, discourse, address, comments, and remarks across tribe, section, religion, ethnicity, and communication. If not hated, it will degenerate and poison the atmosphere to the tipping point or point of no return, Obasanjo warned. Explaining why different regions of the country should either be autonomous or at least self-reliant within the Nigerian Union has been a major conversation in the country's policy for some years now. Obasanjo, a well-known critic of the Buhari administration, had written several times to the incumbent president in the past, urging action on different issues he deemed important. President Buhari had left Nigeria for the summit on Friday, February 7th, alongside state governors like Hope Uzodinma of Imo and Ben Ayade of Cross River. The former president said the world was warning Nigeria against descending into a state of violence because any outbreak would be difficult to contain. Others in the president's entourage are some senators and top officials in the ministry. According to Obasanjo, Boko Haram has menacingly ravaged the land, and in spite of government's claim of victory over Boko Haram, the potency and the activities of the terrorist group where they are active remain undiminished, putting a lie to government's claim. That is it, guys, on the news today. Nigeria is heading for civil war if care is not taken. If they don't address this issue of insecurity and other issues that have been facing Nigeria seriously, there will be serious problem, especially this president that is sitting on the seat. Because as it is now, Nigeria is facing so many challenges. We are really struggling, and the government has decided to turn a blind eye into all these things that are happening. They are ignoring what is happening. They are saying they are reducing the activities of the Boko Haram, but yet, with the news we are receiving every day, it seems they are not even reducing. Instead, they are getting bolder. So I don't understand if our leaders think that we are a joke. We don't have eyes. We don't notice anything, because that is what they are trying to say. We have a president who ignores every situation that comes and acts like it's not happening, because maybe in one way or the other it doesn't affect him. So Obasanjo has been writing to Buhari that they should do something about this issue of restructuring. But he has turned deaf ears, because what he's trying to say now is that with this security going on, very soon, all the states in this nation will decide that they want to be autonomous and do things by themselves. So he should quickly address this issue, because they keep on saying Boko Haram is reducing, Fulani headsmen, there's no threat about the Fulani headsmen, this one, that one, ignoring so many things. There's employment in the country. I don't know whether they are blind to all these things, that they are not addressing these issues. So if this restructuring debate, if it moves any further, it could lead to violence. And we don't want violence. We want this to be addressed as peaceful as anything. Because if there's violence in this country, it is not going to be contained. Because last time that there was violence, a lot of people suffered. A lot of Nigerians and a lot of Biafrans died. and it was not fair. So if they want to bring that kind of war again, it's going to cause a deep crisis in Nigeria. Big crisis, because then the Boko Haram will get bolder. And the way they are going now, they want to start behaving like they want to start looking for amnesty. But we don't want that, and Nigeria should not even try to grant them that amnesty. Because all these debates they are having, it's unhealthy. It's unhealthy because during these debates, they are always personal, and then they insult themselves, and it doesn't end up well. Because still, the same issue remains. They've not addressed the problem. If this insecurity keeps on going, different states will take up means to protect themselves, because as the government is not protecting anybody, so all these states will try their possible best to protect themselves, and they will start bringing their own kind of security. Before you know, there will be war. So it is better now to prevent war and address these issues now, because once war breaks out, it will be terrible. It will be really, really terrible with the condition Nigeria is, with the high rate of unemployment, with the suffering, with the poverty. It will be really bad. So our president should try and do something. He should make amends, because as he's ignoring everything like this is not working for anybody. Nigeria should stand up and do something too. And the governors of these states in this Nigeria, they should stand up and do something too, instead of ignoring what is happening. Nobody's saying anything that is actually nobody's making any personal move about this Boko Haram issue. They say they want to address the Fulani herdsmen in different states, but yet it is only the Westerners that have done something about it and formed their own security agents. So Nigerians should be ready for war. They should be prepared, because if this goes on like this, if this continues, Nigeria will definitely be heading for war. That is just the truth. And we do not want war. We just want them to peacefully divide the nation. I know our president will try to fight that by all means, but we know that we have the help of the external government. So they should try and do something about this issue of insecurity first. Do something about it, because that is the number one problem we have in Nigeria. So that is it, guys, on this news. Reverend Kalamu Musa Dikwa, a Borno-based cleric, has revealed how the dreaded terrorist group Boko Haram was created by some northern governors shortly after the country returned to democracy in 1999. Musa Dikwa, a DG of Center for Justice on Religion and Ethnicity in Nigeria, claimed he sent messages to personalities and media organizations in Nigeria, informing them of a clandestine plan going on in the region to unleash the militants on the country. He said, the creation of Boko Haram started in 2000. I sent some messages and statements to some people and media organizations then. When Olusegun Obasanjo became the president of Nigeria in 1999, he appointed service chiefs, all from the North Central Zone, Benue, Plateau, Kogi, and Kwara State. Incidentally, all of them were Christians. The development prompted 3 northern governors to come up with the idea of creating and raising Islamic militants to fight for Islam, because they felt Obasanjo did not appoint their own, what they described as pure Hausa or Fulani northerners, as service chiefs. From there, they created Islamic militants. These governors contributed 100 million each to buy working equipment, uniforms, and so on for the militants. Immediately, Nigeria started experiencing religious crisis. After they contributed the money, these organized Islamic militants started religious crisis in Kaduna, Kano, Jigawa, Zamfara, saying that they wanted Sharia. The aim was to intimidate and oppress the Christians. They started attacking churches and killing people. Anytime elections took place and they did not favor them, they would burn churches and attack their members. They never went to offices of political parties or the Independent National Electoral Commission office to carry out their attacks. On February 18, 2006 in Maiduguri, those boys came out and said they wanted Sharia law, and that the governor in the state then did not cooperate with them. And because of a cartoon that was designed in Denmark in 2006, they protested and burned down 66 churches in the state and killed many Christian men, women, and children. After that, they started moving from house to house, church to church, yet nobody talked. We were the only ones talking or raising the alarm about what was happening. The clergyman is quoted by The Punch on Sunday. He added that in July 2009, the insurgents burned down 27 churches and killed many Christians. At that time, they did not touch any Muslim man or woman. They only killed security agents and Christians. From 2009 to 2014, they were attacking churches, going from house to house, slaughtering Christians. They started attacking people, including Muslims, in 2014 when they felt their leaders had deceived them by not backing them to fight infidels in the north. 4 of our reverends were slaughtered in 2009. When the newspaper asked him if he had evidence to back up his claim, the man responded, "We have over 20 VCDs recorded by Islamic scholars, and they said if a northerner did not get to power, they were going to fight Christians in Nigeria." A scholar once preached and incited Muslim youths not to be civil if the president of Nigeria was not Muslim. We have the videos. He preached in Hausa. He alleged that all the former Muslim heads of states that died, including Umar Yar'Adua, was killed by the infidels, and therefore they would not allow a non-Muslim to rule Nigeria. So this is the 10-year anniversary of the Boko Haram, and they are celebrating it with style by killing Nigerians and looting as much as they can. So since 2000, Boko Haram had started. Nigerian government has not found any way to stop them or prevent them from causing harm to the people. Instead, they have ignored many things as much as possible. They've initially started killing Christians then. They murdered priests, went to Christian churches, burnt it, killed people. Many women lost their lives. At that time, they had not started attacking Muslims. So it was okay. Many northern politicians kept quiet because most of them were Muslims and they did not say anything about it. But eventually, the Boko Haram, they got angry that they were being ignored, that none of their northern governors were backing them up. So they turned on to their brothers and started killing them, using them as suicide bombers. So since then, we have been suffering this insurgency. And up till now, Nigerian government is saying that they've reduced it. Yet, they are celebrating their 10 years anniversary this year. So how is it possible that we, the Nigerian citizens, are seeing that every day these people are getting bolder? They are recruiting more people. And yet, the government is insisting that these people are being diminished by size, that they are reducing, that their effort is being reduced. How is that possible? Meanwhile, if care is not taken, they will celebrate next year because this insecurity is not getting any lesser. It started long ago with the killing of Christians, but it was okay because they wanted Sharia law. And now they are killing anybody who gets in their way. This is one of the reasons why Nigeria should be disintegrated, because if Nigeria now is together, they see the Christians as threats. They see them as enemies. So now we no longer want to be one Nigeria. They should separate the Christians from the Muslims. The Christians don't have any problem being on their own. They do not have any problem like that. So the Muslims can stay together. The northern Muslims can stay together because they are the ones that is inciting all this problem in Nigeria. They want northerners to be ruling, to be in charge of the presidential seats. Not just northerners, Muslim northerners. Is this how a country that is democratic is supposed to be? So if they say they don't want Christians again, Christians will just separate. We'll separate and have our own nations. Because there's no point killing us, there's no point fighting us. We don't even want them. We don't want the one Nigeria anymore. They say they don't want us. So what is the issue now of preventing Nigeria to be restructured or disintegrated? What is the reason? Why is the president fighting this when the insecurity has clearly stated their issue? They don't want this what are they calling it? They don't want one Nigeria. But yet, when the Biafrans or the Biafrans stand up and say them too, they don't want Nigeria, they are seen as terrorists. Meanwhile, the main terrorists that are saying they don't want Christians, they don't want one Nigeria, they left them. They are even giving them rehabilitation. They are taking care of them, petting them, treating them well. So I don't see how this issue is going to be resolved because there is confusion. The government decides to see the main terrorists as their friends. Meanwhile, the people that are fighting for their freedom, fighting for their peace, they see them as terrorists, persecute them. So this is the main reason why Nigeria should be separated. This is the main reason why we do not want one Nigeria anymore, because there's nothing like one Nigeria. If the northerners decide to sit on presidential seats and then the easterners, the rest of the nation is ignored and they are treated like slaves. So that is it. Nigeria should be disintegrated so that everybody will have peace, so that Nigeria will be peaceful. If not, there will be big trouble in this country, big trouble, because now the president is saying that anybody who protests, they will persecute the person. If you start saying the truth now or calling names, they will kill you and say you are fighting against Nigeria, you are not a good citizen. So people have to be careful in the way they fight about this civil war, because the government is obviously confused. They don't know the people that are terrorists, they don't know the people that are fighting for peace in this nation. So guys, that is it. I would love to hear your opinion down in the comment section below. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, or share this video so that others can watch it too. Thank you for watching this video. Bye bye.